All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Headcanon, where me and my buddy DJ, and myself, Ronaldo, we talk about pop culture things, but lately we've been on a Star Wars binge.
We both love Star Wars so much, but yeah, with Andor Season 2 coming, we both decided we need to revisit Andor.
Yes.
And revisit Andor we have, and we're going to talk about the first 6 episodes today. We're going to do this in 2 parts, since it is a rather long season compared to some of the other.
Shockingly, 12 instead of 8. How many Obi-Wan?
6.
Yeah.
So half that.
Yeah.
With Kenobi.
Yeah.
But so episode 1, do you want to?
Episode 1. Well, so you want to break it down like that? We could do that.
I mean, just a little bit. We don't have to go.
Yeah.
Super
So
into
episode
detail,
1, we get introduced.
The general plot.
Well, we already were introducing Andor and Rogue One. If you guys haven't watched that, go watch it. If you're here, you probably have. But yeah. So we get first shot is him on that planet, right?
Yeah, Morlano 1.
Yeah. So he's looking for someone. What was her name?
Sister. He's looking for his sister.
Yeah, we find out later it's his sister. And it's kind of sad that he's going to like call girl places, or like asking prostitutes. Yeah, but we kind of get the planet's own security people are much like the Empire. Their own, like they have their own. They're like they're jerks. So they're kind of being mean to Andor. Hey, we were here first and all that. And so we get like his sister's not there and like nobody's seen her. So he's walking down an alley and then he gets attacked again by the security people. And this is a big scene because in the first scene of when we first meet him in Rogue One, we also get an alley scene where he meets up with someone, but this time they're attacking him. But we have the security guards kind of behind him, and he tells them like, just go for my money, it's in my pocket. And he headbutts the first guy as he's reaching. He falls down, and the other guy, he grabs his gun, gets his gun away from him, and he tells him like, all right, like just go, get out of here. And it turns out he brunt force knocked out the guy, but it turns out he killed him with a headbutt to the nose.
Pathetic death in all of Star Wars.
I mean, the only brunt force death, as you mentioned, in Star Wars that I've ever seen.
People have lived through so much worse.
Yeah.
There wasn't a back to tank for that, I guess.
Yeah.
Because there's usually a back to tank for any fucking injury. Stabbed by a lightsaber, back to tank.
Yeah.
Almost died by a Sarlacc pit, sit back to tank.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, and then this is big because it pretty much puts him on his whole journey. He pretty much offs the other guy right in the face with the blaster. And
begging for his life.
Yeah, begging for his life. I
tell
swear
him the story.
I won't like I tell him that we attacked you and all this stuff and it was self-defense, and I'll say nope. Cassian. So it wasn't something that he adopted to survive in the rebellion. It was something he adopted just to survive life, is to take out people like, whenever he needs to.
And he does that quite often.
Yeah, so it's like heck, man. Ugh. But yeah, so so that they pretty much they find the bodies of them, and we get someone who starts investigating who left the bodies in the alley. Now it's pretty much Cassian running the whole series. This whole season from the, not the Empire, but the, what is it? The pro-Mox people?
Well, till episode 4, and then the Empire is like, we're stepping in. Y'all fucked up enough. They tell the security guys, like, we're going to occupy the planet. Good job, Serial. Yeah. We were kind of watching your planet, doing our thing, but you fucked up so bad, we're going to have to take over now.
So these first 3 episodes are pretty much just Cassian running to his home planet with his adopted mother, and then us getting a backstory. What's her name?
The planet's Ferrix.
Ferrix.
Yeah.
So he runs off to Ferrix, and then we get introduced to his group of friends, Brix, Brix, right?
Well, Vix, I think
Vix,
is his like, girlfriend. She's like working on a
no, not a girlfriend. They made that clear.
Former lover, probably. But,
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, but I'm assuming because, you know.
No, well, they grew up together is the first part, but.
Well, yeah, probably when what's her name, saved him from. Because they do this thing in the first couple episodes where Andor's like this native kid and we're doing flashbacks, but there's no subtitles, so we, the audience, are just supposed to, headcanon our way to know what they're saying.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't like the first scene
headcanon.
At the end of the first
name
episode,
of the show.
It was totally headcanon because he says to his sister something in their language. In my headcanon, he said, "May the force be with you."
But it's crazy because so the first 3 episodes, it's like chapters. It's like home planet, and then we kind of get flashbacks of him when he was a kid, when his mother found him with her husband. So
he got hung in the square of Phoenix. You learn through a line of dialogue. The black guy that's with her, her husband, her lover, that was the guy that helped raise Andor. We hear through one line of dialogue that they hung him in the square. They killed him. So there is other hangings. So you're right. We did talk about the hanging, but yeah. Still, so we get a child planet that is very Lord of the Flies. There's no adults, but we get no backstory of why they're just kids. DJ pretty much explained to me his headcanon is... because Andor discovers that mining, that big crater where the big shelled out area where they've been mining and stuff, and then you learn through other conversations, passing combos, that there was a mining disaster and everybody died, all the adults died. So that's why I think that all the adults died and all their kids were just left to fend for themselves because all the working adults were killed. During this mining,
maybe going to rescue,
maybe season 2 we'll learn. But
it's very open ended.
We don't know. There's just all these kids and they don't speak English. And I guess Andor, when he got adopted by the lady from Harry Potter's aunt, you said, I'm like, yeah, that's right, that is her. And she's got a red droid that talks, and it had me questioning how come R2D2 never spoke? All these other fucking droids get full on language abilities. R2D2, astromechs in general, astromech droids should have the ability to speak because they're in constant communication with pilots.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about the little red droid speaks, and I'm like, how come R2D2 doesn't have the ability to speak like a lot of these other droids, really stupid droids that probably shouldn't have speaking abilities? Still speak, and then R2D2 wasn't given that ability. Why do you think they didn't give astromechs
because they weren't
basic speaking ability? Maybe they can beep and shit.
But they weren't meant to talk to people.
But they're in constant communication with a pilot.
Yeah,
they're a co-pilot
that has a reading thing, and then also if you're fighting a war, you can't. It has to be you can't understand the beeps and boops. Yeah, you only want to communicate with the pilot, not talk out loud. So that's why it's on the diagram.
But you don't think it would be better for an astromech droid to know English? Come on.
It's an astromech droid.
They're in constant connection with a pilot.
Yeah, on the reader. You're fighting a war. You don't want the droid out loud to say okay, we're gonna bomb them.
What if you don't have time for the reader though, and you're looking at the viewer? You don't have time to analyze. That's kind of what your co-pilot would do for you. This could kind of supply you. You have to know fucking biometrics or whatever droids speak.
No, you just read the dialogue on the screen. That's what Luke
battle
does.
Droids knew English.
Yeah, but
every single basic.
What are they called?
Had English.
Oh no! What are the droids called that you're talking about?
Battle droids.
No. The ones.
Astromech.
Yeah, Astro. They're Astro droids. They're made for ships, but they're made to communicate with the ship, not so much the pilot.
Okay, I did think of this when I was watching Andor when they had the little red droid.
Because if anything, they're more like the little computer system that the mechanics hook up to the car than they are as a personal droid.
Okay.
Like a protocol droid, personal droid. That's why they take plates and then they talk to people. Hers, I'm sure she customized because I've never seen a droid like that.
Yeah, so that's what another thing is wondering about this series is there seems to be a void of droids. I didn't mean to make that right, but I guess I did. But there's the red droid, and then there's not really any other droids. The Empire hates aliens, I get that. But do they hate droids as well? No, because Palpatine was testing droid strength and how useful they could be. Wasn't he not? Because he was literally testing droids versus humanoid, which army is the best going forward. That's what makes the Clone Wars kind of brilliant, is he kind of had machines and humans, and he could kind of see, if I clash these two, who would win and what would I use going forward.
But who was winning?
But he still kind of used robots.
Who won though? The clones.
Well, the clones won because of him, and the Jedi.
Yeah,
that he was using.
But it was too expensive to pay for the droids and also pay for the clones. So that's why they just started recruiting people. Who do we have a bunch of in the universe? People. So it's just cheaper to use people. And it's expensive to build all these droids and program them.
I know. I always think that droids are just super cheap.
Yeah.
But I guess
no. Yeah, you got to pay for them. But yeah.
Palpatine's he's a penny pinching emperor.
Yeah.
This universe, this galaxy will be the cheapest it's ever been.
But also you got to think about all the people are poor.
Yeah.
Like especially on Cassian's planet. She was a scavenger, so I bet anything she found that. So we learn she's a scavenger because when they're on the kid planet, a Republic ship crashes. And it's a Republic ship.
I thought it was going to be an Empire ship.
Yeah, so they said Republic.
I had forgotten.
So this is pre-Clone or pre-end of Clone War, pre-Rise of the Empire. So it crashed somehow, and so yeah, he kills one of the people on the ship. The mom goes, or the dad goes.
Well, not just him. Like
the whole
collective.
Kids.
All these.
But he was the only one that
like
was knocked out,
darts.
right?
Huh?
Wasn't he knocked out when they took him away?
No.
Cassian?
So all the other ones carried the chieftain lady, the girl, away back to the camp, but Andor stayed, went into the ship, and then he started Kylo Renning. And he started Kylo Renning, where he just starts savagely attacking computer consoles. And he doesn't know what he's doing, but he's mad at the ship, and I kind of get that, but I don't know, it's kind of silly.
He's a child. He's a child. Yeah. Kylo Ren.
They're savages. They're like humanoid Ewoks. Is kind of how I compare them. They're like. What if they're not cute little bears, but like humans?
Yeah.
But on that same level of intelligence and technology.
they're higher up. They're taller, better opposable thumbs.
Blow darts and shit. Yeah, they're like really not that developed. It's like on Star Trek, like they're like that lower level group that like the Federation shouldn't really interfere with. Just let them.
I don't know if
get out of the caveman. They're like cavemen.
I don't know about. I think they're just kids that don't know how to use technology or make it.
Maybe they'll explain it later.
Like you, literally, when you said Lord of the Flies, I felt like it was perfect.
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, so she takes him away, and then we get introduced to like his other friends, like one friend, Fix. What's her name?
I think.
I thought it was Brix, but yeah, Fex. She's a mechanic. She's working on a pod racer, right? Like
pod
taking it
racer.
apart.
And they even mentioned like they're gonna like put a rate. Her and her boyfriend are gonna like bet on her pod race. Like not Boonta Eve, but like another thing like Boonta Eve from. Yeah. Because there's pod racing in other other parts of the galaxy.
Because then we're introduced to one of his mining friends, a worker there. Because it's a big working community, a big construction community. So we're introduced to that one friend.
The alibi scene.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like it's kind of
I need
dialogue about like. Hey, like Andor like built this whole alibi on his way to talk to his friend. Like, oh, what'd you do last night? Oh, I did this. No, that's not what you did at all. Let me tell you what you did last night.
Did he take where did he get the Imperial thing from? They never explained.
That was before we picked up with him.
Okay. That's what they never mentioned that in that scene. Okay. But because anyways, we'll get back to that when Luthen
assuming
comes in.
He stole that before he went to the brothel because the show kicks off with him at a brothel.
Yeah, looking for his sister. So maybe he did it and just figured, like, I heard someone looks like her.
Yeah, because Luthen's talking about that too, and I was like, we didn't see that. Yeah. When did he steal that? Yeah. Well, I guess that's the point.
Well, that's why
they didn't really care about me stealing it. Yeah. I was kind of a nobody.
Because that's why he goes to his friend, like, because he says, I need the alibi for this. So the alibi is for the murder and all this stuff. But he goes to his other friend.
Double murder.
Yeah. His other friend and goes like, hey, I need you to contact that guy, that secret person, your buyer. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, come on, man. Like, I got something like he wants. She's like, what? And don't worry about it. And so we get into that. We realize that she is communicating with him and he's a rebel spy. So now we're like, oh shit, she's in communication with the rebels and shit. And so she says what he has and all that. And then we have a jealous boyfriend, her jealous boyfriend.
Who gets way too much screen time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because
I don't care about him, especially when he dies.
Yeah, because the whole point of it is like he's talking to this chick, which is a friend, but they're trying to get money. He's trying to sell something to get money and cash and all this. He doesn't know she's part of the Rebel Alliance and all that stuff, but the boyfriend doesn't know anything, but so thinks it's like this. She's cheating on him and all this stuff. So yeah, he finds out like, oh, someone's looking for someone that looks like Andor. Oh, he's right here. So he like he calls the fucking
Snitch.
The people from that other planet, And then like
that worked out well for him.
It's fucking, and then he gets shot in the fucking battle. It's like, oh my god. So like, I know what I'll do. I'll tell on him. He'll get killed and arrested. And I'll live happily ever after. No, what have I done? Like, it's all your fault, you idiot. Like anyways, yeah. So Luthen finds out what he has, and it's not so much that he has the object, what he has. It's that he went to an Imperial depot, wherever it was. We didn't see it or hear of it. And he went and was able to get this. I guess it's hard to get. So he's not interested in the actual technology. He's interested in Cassian because he has a plan of his own. So in the third episode, at the third episode, we have this fucking battle of like Luthen's there to meet up, but then they get attacked by the people looking for Cassian for murder. But back on that other planet, we have an investigation undergoing, and we meet this gentleman who we call Cereal because his mother feeds him nothing but cereal in the next chapter.
Cereal.
Yeah, so it's
Cyril? I think it's Cyril.
So we call him Cereal.
Enough. They even put him holding cereal, and it's like they wanted that meme to happen.
So we... I know, really.
No, it's Cereal holding cereal. It's like, y'all knew what you were doing.
But yeah, so he's investigating. He's trying to become an up-and-coming like detective on that planet, but he has aspirations to become an Imperial officer. You could tell he just wants to move his way up the ladder and all that stuff. But
he hits rock bottom.
Yeah, because him and his buddy that's investigating go to this planet and like create this battle, thinking that they're gonna get Cassian. But
bring all these people to die.
But Cassian and Luthen escape. Luthen absolutely.
They could have killed him.
Yeah, they could have knocked this guy out, defeated him, but they decided to take out all his buddies, everyone he sent. So this guy pretty much led everyone into a massacre there, all because of Luthen and Cassian. It's insane.
There in the ashes.
Yeah. What have I done?
15 dead motherfuckers to their doom.
But yeah, so Luthen and Cassian get away, and then Luthen like pretty much tells him like, hey, listen, I want you. Like, there's something greater going on in this world, and I need your help with something. And he says, listen, I want you so bad, I'll pay you. So he takes Cassian kind of against his will and tells him like, I'm gonna pay you to do this, so you have to do it.
Well, he is a fugitive.
Yeah, so he's like, I can take you back, and you can go to jail. Yeah. But he's still fighting it. That's what I don't get.
You're a fucking fugitive.
Yeah. Right? But yeah, so then we go on to the next chapter, the next 3 episodes. But anything else on the first 3 you want to talk about?
I wanted to add in my notes. I liked Cyril's boss, the pompous guy that he first talks to. He's kind of a heavy dude, and Cyril's like really gung ho, and he wants to do his duty. And the guy's like, from what I've observed, there are a couple of assholes that picked on the wrong dark-skinned man, and now they're dead. I think we could just leave it at that. And I thought that was kind of a funny. That's kind of how it goes.
But
he's like, they picked on the wrong, and he keeps saying it several times. The dark-skinned man. And
it's like Cassian's like maybe a fucking.
He's not that dark.
A shade darker than a white dude.
Yeah,
like
he has a tan. Like he's like a white dude that goes to like Jamaica for a month. Or something.
He's acting like some guy in blackface attacked these 2 guys. And
they keep saying that. They said it like several times. Like, they attacked a man with dark fingers. It's like. Okay, you can stop calling him that.
It's like, are you the chief of Los Angeles? Like, geez, calm down there.
But I did like that scene where Cyril's like, that's kind of, I want this show to lead to Cyril becoming an unhinged, like, maniac, because that's what it seems like it's leading to. Like, there's so many instances where it's like, okay, he's going to go crazy from this. Yeah. He has to go home and live with his mother again.
Yeah, because in the next chapter, he goes home. Fails, he goes home, he gets fired, but... And then anything else on that first chapter?
So yeah, a couple more of my notes. There's like a scene with a tall alien and this other black guy, but that's as John Boyega would say, they're sprinkled in there, bruv. He kind of has me watching Star Wars different now after I heard that. Now I'm just like doing Where's Waldo, looking for like all the sprinkles that he's been talking about. And God, there's a lot of sprinkles in this cake. But
I think he's talking about main character heroes, not side characters.
I hear you. Yeah, whatever. but that's not the point why I was bringing that up. No, the scene with the tall alien is like a Guy Ritchie movie because it has this very English vibe, and he's like, I was told I was supposed to just stand here, and then like Andor is like, really? He convinced you to do this shit? How much is he paying you for this? And he's like, paying me quite a lot. He's like, come on, I had more respect. That scene's kind of funny because they're like old friends, and he's like, you're really gonna hurt me? He's like, He's like, I have to do what I gotta do, Andor. It's like, I don't want to, but I need. That scene felt very Guy Ritchie to me. If you ever seen Snatch or like any of his movies, had that very like English.
This episode 3,
Cockney.
Right?
Oh, it's like episode 2. I think.
Okay.
It's like that middle one. And then there's like a Imperial officer eating blue chow mein noodles out of like a little Chinese food container on duty. I thought that was kind of cool because everything in Star Wars, blue milk, blue things need to be blue, and I thought that was a neat little scene. And then I wrote down, they simply harassed the wrong person with dark skin and got what they deserved. That's literally a quote from the serial's boss. I wrote the quote exactly. And then episode 2, That Would Be Me, it's called. Andor discovers a giant quarry where the Empire used to dig and mine resources. Man rings bell for town with 2 hammers. It's pretty goofy.
I think you overthink that, but agree to disagree.
You like it?
I mean, they're poor. It's a poor village on a planet. Like you notice that they don't have droids. They don't have droids because they don't have money.
But you don't need droids to make like a working bell tower, or like you could have a fucking rooster do it.
Do they have roosters?
Man. Okay, and then another thing I wrote down. So there's a scene when Vex's like boyfriend is betraying Andor that you talked about, and he's like looking at the screen and looking at the Imperials thing, and then they put the text on screen for the audience. I thought that was kind of weird and out of place.
Why?
For Star Wars, text doesn't float on screen in Star Wars.
What do you mean? When they go to different planets, they put it up.
I'm just kidding. I was being.
Text don't float. I gotcha. Dun, 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 dun,
it's never happened in Star Wars. Not a single movie has ever had text on screen. So minus 10 points for that. Minus 1,000 points to Gryffindor. No, there's a line that Serial, the big guy, like the Chris Farley guy that's working for Serial when they go to get their asses beat on Ferrix.
Yeah.
I like the line when he's like, "The best way to keep the blade sharp is to use it, sir." I'm like, that's actually pretty. That sounds
like a fucking like London like gangster like trying to say it.
No, like all these people have Cockney accents and stuff. That's why it has a very Guy Ritchie feel to it. And then another note I wrote, Vex and her boyfriend. I can't even remember this guy's lame-ass name. He gets way too much screen time. I understand Vex because she's connected to Andor and everything, but the boyfriend seems like we spend too much time with him, even though his death, like, I don't care when he dies.
No, he was a tool for them to come to the planet, nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, he was a plot point.
We spent too much time with that, I feel like.
What?
We could have developed other things. Because he was fucking useless. But I don't know. Anything you want to say before we move on from that? No, go. I'm trying to get through 1 through 3 before we move on. And then I wrote, God, Cyril's speech to his men was so pathetic when he tries to give that like
he's a weenie.
Like the other guy gives a great speech, the bigger lieutenant dude, and then he's like, "They're all yours, sir," and he's just like, hopefully we do good. That reminded me of Gorman from Aliens. I don't know if you remember Aliens too much, but Gorman, and then they're like, "How many drops have you done, Gorman?" He's like, 2. Or
yes,
like,
I remember.
How many combat drops? Okay, none. I'm new. Like,
so
he kind of had the vibe of like a super new like lieutenant, super green, and that's what he is, Serial, and it shows, and he pays the price. Man has to live with his mom, and uncle will take care of you. But yeah, we get introduced to Stellan Skarsgård. Beautiful shot of him arriving on Ferrix.
Ferrix,
yeah. Arriving on Ferrix, he's on like a Airbus, and like this old guy's like, back in my day, we used to be able to just park our ship and fly wherever we wanted. The Empire's made it terrible, and it's like a nice little scene where Skarsgård's not really saying much. He's just kind of like, yeah, okay.
With his cane, right?
Yeah, and he's got his cane that we both think might be a lightsaber because he's
in disguise.
He's a very mysterious individual. But yeah, his arrival is in the first 3 episodes, and you covered that where him and Andor have like a factory fight, like a video game. There's a bunch of shootable objects that drop chains, and it's very cinematic. And then Andor and Luthen ride off on a speeder through like farm fields, and it's very Star Trek with Kirk and the movie, not the show.
He's dancing around in the seat right now.
You can't see me, but I'm very...
like he's on video. He's fucking.
Yeah. So episode 3, I wrote Andor attacks a spaceship. So he's big mad about his like chieftain Queen dying, so he's like attacking consoles, very Kylo Ren, just having a fit. Well, not really Kylo Ren. He's a kid, like you said.
You
Kylo
mentioned
Ren
that.
was a grown-ass man. Fucking using a lightsaber to destroy consoles like a bitch. But yeah, I like the Airbus of Luthen. I like the little air stairs. They literally have a practical effect of like this like droid stairs like build itself and then come in like attached to the Airbus. I thought that was neat. Like they didn't need to do that, but it was cool. It added a nice Star Warsy effect. Luthen's stick could be a lightsaber, I wrote. Factory shootout, scenes with the boyfriend. Big man takes a drink in his sniper nest. That's what I wrote in my notes.
Press pause. I don't know if you guys listened to our first episode, but we made a video about John Boyega and Mr. DJ's notes.
Go ahead.
He's like, Lieutenant Gorn, another chocolate chip sprinkled in, John Boyega. He wrote that like he's yelling at John Boyega.
He's a better character than Finn.
Oh my god.
And he only got 2 episodes.
Oh my god. Anyways, on to the next episodes. So I'm going over DJ's notes, and this guy, he's watching the show, doesn't even want to listen to the guy's name, and the guy who plays the Thing, and I'm looking at it, I was like, the Thing is an interesting character, definitely a scoundrel. What's the Thing? The guy who plays the Thing. What the fuck? He could IMDb this, and he's like, no, that guy's the Thing now. Forever and always will be the Thing. Oh my god.
Make it easier for people.
Anyways, on to the episodes. Alright, so anyways, getting on about the Thing. We haven't even met him yet, but the next 3 episodes, it totally changes. I kind of do dig how they like doing the episodes. First 3, introduction to his home life, his past, and all this. And then this next 3 episodes, we get his future friends, his future family for at least the next 3 episodes. We get Luthen talking him into doing this heist, saying like,
really
listen,
joining the rebellion.
Yes. So he's all like, well, is he? I don't think his heart's in it yet. No, but we'll get into that. Yeah.
Pushing him in the right direction.
Yes. Yeah. So Luthen talks him into it and goes like, listen, I'll pay you. And so they land on this planet. You know the name of the planet by chance?
Damn it, I wish I would have wrote that down.
Yeah. Anyways, it's an Imperial planet where they keep. Yes. Well, flash right here. This is the name of the planet. And so that's where they keep the payroll for the Imperial Army. It's fucking amazing. Like
a huge sector. Not the entire army, but a huge sector.
Yeah. But it's this like planet with nomads. So we learn that these nomads, that every 3 years there's a celestial thing. They go around their sun and their planet travels through this like asteroidy belt. And this asteroid belt has crystals that come through the sky because the planet's going through it. So there's this rainbow, beautiful shower that they have. But the people of the planet, it's religious to them. So they have a temple.
It's like our Northern Lights, but way more intense.
Yeah. But it happens every 3 years as they cycle through their galaxy. So or their solar system. So these nomads travel to this one temple every 3 years, but the Empire has fixed it so these guys aren't going anymore. So 150,000 the first time that they were there, and then now there's only 60. And it's been 3 years or 10 years. It's been a decade since they've been there, they said.
The one guy's been there 7 years.
Okay.
But 12 years in total. I think they say the Empire started occupying the planet 12 years ago.
Yeah, Lieutenant Gorn is the gentleman he's talking about that we learn later. Great character. Chocolate chip that John Boyega says. I think John Boyega's thinking about main characters, but he's making a point. He is a very strong and developed character. Because we learned that,
and he's in Star Wars.
We learned that he doesn't want a promotion because he falls in love with an alien, right? And then he's denied a promotion because he fell in love with either someone there or an alien, which the Empire does not like. So they kept him at his post. So he got upset because they're restricting his heart. Like he can't love who he has to love. He can't move up, and I mean he did so much for the Empire.
Serving that dickhead.
Yeah. So it's like. He decided, you know what? I don't have the freedoms I want. So he rebelled, which hats off to him. So yeah, we get that character, but just learning his attitude and what he wants to do. And then just from her explaining to Andor what he does. It's like, yeah, we have, I I understand his views.
And we learn too near the end of the Eye is that this is the last time they're gonna let them do this.
Yes,
the Empire is gonna crack down and end this whole charade of like letting them do this.
Well, only 60 people showed up this time, so they're expecting it. Like, yeah, we're not gonna do it again. Because what they did was 150,000 people did it the first time we were there. 60 now.
They whittled those numbers down.
Yes, because what they did on the road, on the highway, the pilgrimage, if you would, that they walked up, they put like bars and brothels and all this stuff on the road so people would get drunk. They would stay, I'm too tired to walk the road. I want to stay here and gamble. I want to stay here and get with this woman. So the Empire is using human, not emotions, but human needs to and addictions and all this stuff. And they're putting it there. Yes. And they're ruining
traditions against people.
They're ruining traditions. Yeah. So it's like, if we get them drunk, they're not going to want to walk all this road and stuff.
People that are governed by traditions, they will fuck with that and manipulate that.
Yeah, so it's like they're all like, if they get drunk, they get addicted to the alcohol, they get injected to the local meads and all this stuff. It's like they're gonna not want to go up and do it. So 60 people show up this year, and then it's pretty much said by one of the Imperials, like, oh, we're not doing this anymore. Like, that's it. It's like, joke's on them. It's like we have a city where they can celebrate from down there now. They don't have to come to this tiny brick temple, which is a small temple, but it's so close to where they have their gold, the Imperial payments at. They don't want them coming up that far. And it is a nice little canyon. And it's a beautiful area in Scotland that they filmed that I've been to. It's gorgeous. So I love these 3 episodes.
Do you think it's a Force Nexus?
No.
I don't think it's like a Jedi temple.
No, because I do.
Strong
in episode 3, so in these episodes, we get introduced to the characters and stuff. And I'll jump ahead. That Andor has, Luthen left him a crystal. Said, don't take anything worth less than 55,000. This is a Kyber crystal.
Old Republic.
He said Old Republic?
Well, he's like, it's like a blue Kyber crystal, or it's like a crystal they haven't used, in the rotation for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because he's a collector of antiquities when we learn later. So it's like an ancient Kyber crystal.
Yeah, so...
Because they destroyed, or the Empire got all the other Kyber crystals.
Because Andor gets this crystal and says, don't take anything less than 55,000 for it. And yeah. But then we learned out it might even be a Sky Kyber, they said.
Yeah, we don't...
Yeah, we'll find out, because, he finds out that it's around his neck and stuff. But, Luthen gives it to him. So, we'll go back to that.
I'm only assuming it's Old Republic because Luthen has all the antiquities and all this Old Republic, stuff. So I'm just using that knowledge.
So there's 2 plot lines in these beginning of 3 episodes, which I enjoy. So we have the heist episodes. We have the Ocean Elephants type heist where Andor is introduced to these people. So we get introduced. Luthen takes Andor to this planet, and we get introduced to Vel. So Luthen tells her pretty much listen, he's part of this group now. I'm paying him. He is the last key that we need to get this done. This will help fund. So their plan is to steal Imperial money and use it to help invest in the rebellion, which is genius. Because we learn in the other plot point, now we separate and we get the titles sequence, the letters on the screen, the rare letters on the screen that you say that Star Wars never has, of Coruscant. And we get Coruscant, and we get Mon Mothma, but we get introduced first to the Imperial FBI Central, the Bureau of Investigation, and we get introduced to Deidre Miro. Her first name's Deidre and then Miro. But she is part of it, and they're having a meeting, and so they
I love the way that old English guy
talks. So
God, he sounds so much like an Imperial officer.
This is one of my notes, because he asks, okay, what do we do here? And she reads word for word from the booklet. We're here to investigate and make sure everyone is in order and stuff. He's like, no, we're here to disinfect. If we see an infection, we stop it. And I was like, oh my God, we love it. It's like pretty much if we see incels, if we see anything that looks like they could get power to rebel, we chop it off. We stop it. It's pretty much the Empire, saying if anything sounds like they could try to stop us or even is a nuisance, we stop it.
Trim it at the bud.
So I love that, how he no, we're here to stop. We're here to stop a cancer, to stop it. It was awesome. So it kind of pretty much tells you how evil the Empire is now. It's like, no, we are the Order. That's it. All there is us. Anything else, we destroy. And so she kind of understands, but she is stuck on what happened on Ferrix. No, Ferrix is his home planet. Promoxa or Promox. The planet that Andor murdered people on, she's interested in the investigation there and also interested in the battle that Cyril caused.
Orlano won. Yeah.
Yes. So she's interested of what's going on there and the person who committed the murder and who caused all this mess because they have a picture of Andor.
Pattern,
yeah. So because what's going on is she's investigating all these different places getting robbed, breaking up. And we notice, I think it's in episode 2, that the guy she's working with investigating the files, he mentions Kessel. He says, a couple other planets and then mentions Kessel. All this stuff, all this money disappears. Jakku. And so, yes, thank you. So, money's disappearing. And Kessel is in Solo when he takes all that money in the Kessel Run and then gives it to the rebellion.
Freeze the Wookiee.
Yes. So, it's all like, I was like, oh my God. So, all this different stuff is what the Rebel Alliance is. But they don't really mention it, but it is the Rebel Alliance. But if you watch it, you notice that it's not one united Rebel Alliance. We have different incel groups doing things. Saw Gerrera is doing things as a terrorist group. We have Luthen and his small little band of people doing stuff. So it's these different group of people that haven't united yet. Because in Rebels, the TV show, they kind of have like different groups. We have one developing the B-Wing. We have Kanan and Hera doing things. Then we have Ahsoka as a secret identity. I forget her name. It's Vector or something. She has some secret name. They're all separated, and then they join forces. So this kind of shows they kind of mention all the different things that's going on with different rebel incel groups.
Yeah,
so
like when do the X-Wings get made? Because they don't exist before the rebellion.
So someone develops them, yes. And then someone develops a B-Wing too. So all these different things aren't like...
The clones didn't use them. There were variations, sure.
The Arc, yeah. And then there was Y-Wings though. There were Y-Wings.
Yeah, but the X-Wing is like...
It's the Arc C or something like that. Episode 3, there's an X-Wing.
Is it Revenge of the Sith?
It has an extra wing in it, but it's a very similar to an X-Wing.
Okay, so it's like... It's like an X-Wing, like an XY, or... I'm trying to remember my lore, but there was like a prototype. Man, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I'll put it here.
Because there's a Y-Wing, then there's an Arc Wing, Arc C Wing or something, or Arc Star X. Wars, yeah. But a clone in episode 3 when they're battling with their Jedi starships, the ARC Trooper says, "All right, put S-foils in attack positions."
Right. The Clone Warrior ships. There is a close.
There's 2 people in that one, but yeah, then there is definitely a Y-Wing because Ahsoka and Rex escape on a Y-Wing. So there are different versions. So there are Y, and then Hera in Rebels test the B-Wing because that's a new ship. So the Rebel
A-Wing.
I think there is an A-Wing. But that looks very similar to the Jedi Wi-Fi or Jedi Fighter. Yeah. I love those things.
I do. Especially in Star Wars Battlefront. They're so fast.
Oh my God.
So fast. They're so hard to hit.
The game.
They're just a little tiny thing.
The X-Wing game on N64 and then on the GameCube, the A-Wing was so fun to fly around, dude. Oh my God, it was so amazing.
I love those ships.
Dude, I love those games, man. But yeah, so yeah, there were X-Wings but they need money to develop all this stuff. So that's why they're taking monies from all these different places. So I thought that was cool that they mention all these places. Right. And then the federal people she's noticing that it's random, but she says it's so random it's almost planned out. Like, so it's like it's a very, very interesting thing. But yeah, so we get introduced to these people. Andor gets taken back to the camp. Vel takes him back to the camp, and these people are very upset that he comes. But the first thing that I notice is
AK-47.
AK-47. I thought that was awesome.
But so weird.
Why?
In Star Wars.
Okay, explain.
Any gun with bullets in Star Wars seems weird.
Why?
Because everything is like laser based.
Okay, but if you're in a Rebel Alliance and you have no money for blasters, for expensive blasters, then you have to resort to anything you could get. Anything you could get is black powder AK-47s.
True.
So I say to that, they're just showing how desperate they are that they're using projectiles instead of heat blasting.
It's better than nothing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll still kill somebody.
Without armor, yes.
Proper headshot.
Yeah. Because if you notice too that there's no stormtroopers there. There's no stormtroopers on that base. Yeah. Yes. But there's no stormtroopers there.
I have the knowledge of seeing.
Okay. Anyways, shut up. We said we wouldn't do this. But anyways, so there's no stormtroopers. So they're all Imperial officers, just regular people running the money and bankers and pretty much accountants. So they don't need the blasting armor, you know? So, but they're also poor as shit. They're stealing the money because they don't have any money. So they're taking the money so they can afford. Yeah. So, because think about it. They had ships in, okay, so I'm going to jump ahead. This is a prequel to Rogue One. Rogue One, they had ships. They had X-Wings.
Yeah, the Rebellion was like fully in its gloriousness.
But they weren't together yet, too. This is talking about different cells and stuff. And then, you know, because they're not united yet. I don't think any of them have thought about the Rebellion. They don't like the Empire. Empire is ruining this guy's life. Like Lieutenant
Mon Mothma and Luthen. Nobody else.
Yeah, they're pretty much. Mon Mothma is pretty much.
They have an idea.
Yes, she does not like the Empire. Yeah, she does not like the Empire, and she knows this is not how things should be. And then
I like it though. It's not like you can just have this idea and then it magically, just everything comes into place.
So we get this cool scene with Luthen going back to Coruscant, and he's transforming into this. He puts on a wig,
reverse Palpatine.
Yeah, he puts on rings. And then he even practices in the mirror his little posh stance, like talking to an aristocrat, like someone with money. And then we find out he owns like an old like relic antique shop on Coruscant.
This is my favorite part of the entire Andor series.
Yeah. So on the Coruscant front, we have Mon Mothma popping up to Luthen. Oh, hello, Mon Mothma. How are you? And he's being eccentric.
New driver.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Before that, his assistant goes all like, Mon Mothma's here. She has a new driver. Anyone we ever seen before? No. He's like, all right, separate.
Show him this bullshit over here so we can have a
So yeah, they do the secretary or the assistant at the antique spot goes off, shows this guy 14,000-year-old coin. Look at this. And he's like, oh wow, fascinating. And so he's playing with Mon Mothma. Oh, you need a present for your husband. Oh, you know what? I have something in the back. Yeah, I love the way he talks. It's like, let me show you something back here. Yeah. And then he goes all like, he's like, listen, if I don't get that money quick, we're going to run out of money. I got a bunch of mouths to feed. And it's very subtle, like how quick he changes his voice. Like, I really need that. She's like, I can't move the funds. They're keeping an eye on me. I got a new driver. Like, there's so many spies popping up. So we get a quick little take on some of the senators do want a change. Some of the senators they could trust. She doesn't know who she could trust. She thinks she's found someone and she's told him. We don't know yet. But he goes like, listen, I may have something, but it's got to be quick. But I need your help. I need your funds because that might not happen. So we need you to work on that. And she goes, all right, I'll try. So she goes back out, plays. And so we kind of understand, you know, he's working. He is a true rebel, but he's not part of that rebel alliance that we know yet. Like, you know, he's not part of the Mon Mothma group on Yavin 4 that we know.
We're seeing it form. That's why I get the intro now to the show.
Yeah.
The slow eclipse.
Yes.
Of the rebel.
Yes, the rebel.
Slowly filling in. I get the director.
Because it's not there yet.
What you're saying, director.
Yes.
I see what.
Because this is the formation of the rebellion. Because there's many cells going like, no, fuck the Empire. We're doing this. Saw Gerrera bombing the place.
Artistically too, it's like it's in the dark.
Yes.
And it's slowly revealed to the light. So it's like because the rebellion's coming to light.
All these people are realizing, like, you know what? We're not alone. But they don't know yet because they're scared. Because the Empire is cracking down, and that's what it's showing in these 3 episodes. Is that she's having trouble, like, trying to get people to help out. Like, I think I know someone who could trust, and he's like, well, you better hurry up because I don't got all day. We got to fund these people. Like, we need money quick. So,
because we're 12 years into the Empire, so we have 7-8 years, give or
15
take,
years.
Luke?
15 years.
I thought they said 12.
When the show started, it's 5 years before BBY.
Okay, so we are 15 years into the Empire.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Okay. 12 years on that planet.
13 years.
15 years empirical rule. Because there's the Kanari planet with the mining shit. 12 years.
Oh, you mean the flashback?
Yeah, the Empire only occupied. So I guess the rebellion was fighting over that system.
What are you talking about?
Because if the Empire had been around for 15 years, wouldn't they have ruled that planet for 15, not 12?
What planet?
Where Andor is from.
Yeah.
They say that it was only occupied for 12 years.
I mean, it might have taken 3 years to get there.
Yeah. And fighting and everything.
Because remember, they still had clones for a decent amount of time.
And the first 3 years was probably just control the central systems,
then
work
expand.
outward.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to deal with the Hutt cartel and the Outer Rim later. But no, okay, yeah, that's another thing I just remember because we're talking about that. Andor's planet was in the middle rim. It was in the middle of the galaxy, so that's near like Coruscant. Like that's prime Imperial space.
Yeah.
So he was in the heart of the ship.
Yeah.
He didn't have a chance in hell growing up.
No.
The poor fucker. Like Star Wars is all about like characters having the most horrific, sad. There's even the husband of Mon Mothma. He explains Star Wars perfectly. He's like, does everything need to be depressing and sad or whatever?
Okay, so
boring and sad. Star Wars isn't boring.
We'll stick to Luthen and her real quick because in the first couple episodes we have her. Well, that's how we'll separate it right now. So Luthen and her are working together. Mon Mothma is like, I
love those scenes. All the Coruscant.
Because she's trying to fight for rights, for the people's rights and stuff. And so her husband is throwing a party for his birthday, and like she went and got she did get a gift and all this BS, but it was all a ploy to talk to her Rebel Alliance friend. But he's planning this party, and she's all like, "Why did you plan this? You're planning a party and inviting people that went against my bills in the Senate? Like, they stopped a highway." So people aren't going to get the food that they need, and they're going to starve.
Literal highwaymen.
And are we supposed to joke about this on our third course? And it kind of like
literal highwaymen.
Yes, yeah. No, I got you.
Like Empire's literally highwaymen. That's what she's saying. Like they're really bandits.
Yeah. So they're cutting off all these like hyperdrive systems, trying to get to these people and stuff. So it's like stopping them. So Mon Mothma is like pissed off at her husband for inviting these people. And then the next scene that we get is Mon Mothma's eating breakfast and saying like, listen, I got to take our daughter to go shopping for her stuff, for the things and stuff. And he goes, you better talk to her. And so the daughter comes down and goes, Dad will take me. I don't need you to go. She's like, well, no, I planned out the day for this. And she goes, listen, Mom, I know how you are. You're just doing it for a front. You want everyone to know, like, oh, look at my lovely daughter. She thinks that her mother is playing the politician. Like, look.
Which is true to a point.
To a point, yes.
Not the right point she's making.
Yes.
I'm totally with you.
But because we both agree, and we both said this off mics as we were talking about it, she's saying, Mom, you're putting on a front. You want to be seen as a political person that supports these, like, the Empire and stuff, and be the good senator to the Empire. But she's putting on a front to be that senator, even though she's still Rebel Alliance. So, and this is where I told DJ that I was like, well, I think the daughter is more of a rebel. I think that she's pissed off at her mom for being this imperial senator. And it makes us think that, she's taken off the father, loving all these things. Because the father is very obviously loves all the rich things.
He loves the Empire.
I heard you got me a present. And she's like, I'm taking it back.
Everything be so boring and sad.
Yeah.
I love that line. It's so Empire. I love it.
He's living off his wife's senatorship.
I'm wearing
a gold robe.
I'm wearing a kimono, dog. What are you wearing?
I'm taking our daughter shopping, goddammit.
Who's coming? The seating chart's right there, dude. It's got an electronic seating chart for his guests.
He reminds me of Niles from Frasier, like all uppity and like, I got the seating chart right there.
Has the pinky out.
Yes.
He definitely wields the pinky.
Yes, her husband is Niles Crane from fucking Frasier.
Yeah.
But anyways, So she's like, you know what? That's very hurtful to her daughter. Like, because it sucks because she feels like this is where I think my headcanon is that daughter is more of a rebel. Like, she doesn't like her mom playing this imperial senator. Like, you're just doing it all for show. You want everyone to think that you're this big important person with all these rich stuff. And I think it's making us think that the mom's thinking that she's going down the father's path. Like
she's siding with the father. There smirking while he's like, yeah.
And even if she goes, well, he's not smirking. He's just looking at her. He's giving her looks like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
But even Maud's like, thanks for the support,
yes,
asshole.
Yes. Yeah, I was just about to say. For both of them. But she goes like to both of them, like, thank you for the support. I appreciate that you guys both support me. So I think she just thinks she raised a stingy daughter. But I think in my head canon, I'm hoping that daughter is redeemable. I'm hoping that she's like, like maybe she'll find out what her mom's doing and appreciate her more. I'm hoping
the Empire kills her and pushes her over the edge.
Who? Mon Mothma? No.
Maybe.
Don't do that.
I don't know. I'm not spoiling.
I hope not.
No, you don't trust me.
I hate you.
I've seen the whole series. You have it.
Does she die?
I don't know. Maybe.
So we'll see how the daughter, if she's a stingy little biatch with her dad and all that stuff. But I like that little side story and stuff. But so back to the Cassian now. Cassian Andor is on this planet, and I think they spent too much time of them playing with each other, not trusting each other. Like, I enjoy that, but they could have cut that, like, short. Like, because Cassian's going to each individual person, and they kind of love him, they kind of don't. They kind of love him, then they don't trust him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they invest, like, okay, yeah, we'll accept him, but then they take all his stuff and go dig through it and stuff.
But it kind of comes to a head when he's like, you're all afraid and you're trying to look for a way out, and you're kind of blaming me.
Yeah.
And you're using me as like, I was devoid. I mean, I was like fully into this cause, but you fucked up. And he's like, you don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, you either want to do this or you don't.
Yeah.
With or without me, make your goddamn mind.
Because they were short a guy. They didn't have a pilot really. They were gonna kind of wing it and stuff. So that's why he paid him. Like, oh shit, you're a pilot. Like, I know what you do. Like, you could do this and stuff. You flown this stuff. So Cassian is what they needed. That's why he's paying him. Because this is a big job. Because you get this much money for the Rebel Alliance, you could fund a lot of stuff.
And they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Cassian's like listening to their plan.
Yeah,
he's like,
because so all right. So we meet the other chocolate chip, and
yes,
and he's kind of cool. So
he was a stormtrooper.
Yeah,
stormtrooper.
Yeah. So we meet him.
Teaches Cassian how to like march like a soldier. More character development than Finn.
So it's like, so you know how to walk like a soldier? I've seen him before. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to teach you how to walk like him. So he practices, and he even goes through everything, which I thought was kind of cool because he tells Cassian, I was like, all right, listen, this is what's going down. Here goes the tower. Here goes the dam. Here goes the road to the temple, and there goes the temple. And he's kind of mapping out everything and stuff. This is where everything's at. This is this, you're going to wear this uniform and all that stuff. So we have to look the part. So they practice, which I thought was cool.
And he helps them get the fuck ups out of the way.
Yeah, it's all like he's left-handed.
Yeah, put your gun on the right side.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're left-handed. It's obvious you have to do it on the right side.
We don't need an Inglorious Bastard situation.
Yeah, and an extra thumb up that shouldn't be up. I got you. But yeah, so he's smart like that.
My notes just came up.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, Cassian's doing all that, and then the guy from the bear, who you call the Thing.
The man, the Thing Bear Micro Man.
Yeah, so they connect because they were in the same type of Civil War thing, it sounds like. Like they talk about a certain war. It's like, oh, where were you at?
Went to the same juvie.
Yeah, so it's like, where were you at? Like, oh, I was at so-and-so. And he's like, yeah, I never heard of that or anything like that. So he's like, all right. So they kind of connect after Cassian's stuff was stolen and they were searched through because they still don't trust Cassian, which I can't blame him. Yeah. Clem?
They call him.
Yes.
Remember his fake ass name.
Luthen says, make up a fake name. He's like, all right, Clem.
I'm Clem.
I'll make it Clem. All right, Clem, you are.
But yeah, the Thing, he doesn't trust him for a fucking second.
Yeah. But yeah, so the stormtrooper trains him, which you find you think he's a better character than Finn because he has.
I'm just being an ass.
Yeah.
I just don't like John Boyega, but every character I see, I'm gonna be like extra, critical on him, like because he made me this way.
What's the kid's name that reminds you of the Matrix guy?
His name in the show I can't remember, but I would just call him Mouse because that's his name in Matrix.
Yeah, because I really like that guy. He's pretty chill.
Yeah, he was a good character.
Oh, His name is Karis.
Yeah, good character.
I really like him because he is the heart of the rebellion, I feel. Like, the way he speaks. Yeah, because he has this navigation machine, and Cassian goes like, oh, it's so primitive. Yeah, but you don't need any connection. You don't need any, like, electrical units. You just open it up, and it leads you. Yeah, so it's pretty much like just a regular compass. It's a navigation machine. Like, you just point and go. And so he's all like, this is true. He's like, but then he has a manifesto that he's writing about freedom, about rights, about what the Empire is doing is wrong. And he goes like, this is truth, but this is truth also. And what the Empire is doing is wrong. So he sits there and he starts telling Cassian like what we're doing is we're trying to fight for our freedoms. The Empire is led these people down a path, took them away from their homes, and they're doing that to every planet. They're trying to separate us, trying to weaken us. But what we're doing now is worth it. Like, it's a key to get on the right path to defeat the Empire. And he's kind of interrupted, and he says to be continued. But
it's like the essential argument.
Yes,
of Star Wars.
Yes.
What Star Wars about?
Because it's like these people aren't trusting of Cassian. They're more like soldiers than they are rebellions. But this guy is kind of there as the equal, like the person to bring them together. Like, this is the whole point of the rebellion, is this guy right here. He knows what the freedoms are. He knows what we should have, what rights we should have, and what the Empire shouldn't be doing. But these guys, they have their own little thing. Like, obviously, she's a cousin of a senator. She's doing it because, fuck.
We'll get there.
Yeah. So
she's been out a while. Second season's on the way.
She's doing it for a certain reason. Vela's doing it for a certain reason. Cassian's doing it because he's getting paid. The Stormtrooper's doing it because he doesn't like being a Stormtrooper. The lieutenant is doing it because he lost their promotion. So all these people have their own reasons to do it, but his reason is because it's not right. It's not right. And I love it that they put him in there, because we get to a point where they don't trust Cassian, and they find his kyber crystal that Luthen gave him that's worth a bunch of money, and he full on admits, like, I'm getting paid to do this. I don't know why you guys are here doing it.
I don't give a shit about this cause.
Yeah. It's like, I have no reason to do this. They're giving me money. Is there any other reason why I should be doing this? And they're like, well, I don't know. I guess not. Like
Yeah, give me a good reason besides money.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
But then that poor kid is all like tells him later, like, listen, I'm scared. I don't know if I should be doing this, but I know this is the right thing to do. And he's like, I know you're not here for the right reasons, but I'm glad you're here.
It's kind of why he respects Jedi, I guess.
Yeah.
The whole rebellions are built on hope.
And
everything.
But even though he said that first,
and delivering hope. Yeah, but she used his words against him. But
yeah. So Karis, I like as a character.
Yeah,
but
I like it. It's sad how he goes in the heist.
Anyways, yeah. So I mean, we get this untrusting people. We get a few other people like we got Cinta, which is kind of like, I don't know. She's like the person who she heals his arm or helps him heal his arm, and he goes, "Oh, you're a healer." Kind of gets a little flirty with her and all that stuff. So
she does the same function as a medical droid.
Yeah. So, and then Arvel is the guy's name, the Thing. So yeah,
they barely say his name in the show though. So.
Yeah. So he's like, so they're all getting ready for this last episode thing. Like this heist, pretty much Ocean's 11, so they're preparing for
Ocean's 11 Star Wars.
Yeah. So, but then back on Coruscant, we have Luthen and Mon Mothma doing their own thing, but then we also have Cyril go home, and so his mother is also in Harry Potter. She plays the squib that saves Harry Potter from the
Well, that's the aunt. That's his mom's sister.
No, the mom is the aunt, but Cyril's mother is a squib who helps Harry Potter.
Cyril's mother, that's right.
She's a squib.
They were both in Harry Potter.
Yes. So she helps. She defends Harry Potter when he attacks out in the mortal world, in the Muggle world.
That's right.
And so she goes and says like, "Oh, I'm a squib. I don't have the powers, but my mother was witches and stuff." And Harry Potter was defending himself. They saved his cousin's life. So she's also in Harry Potter. I was like, holy crap.
I bet if that guy didn't pass away that played Vernon Weasley, or he would probably have played the old man.
I know, really.
On the
Who?
ship. The guy that played Vernon in Harry Potter.
Oh, the big guy?
If he didn't pass away.
But
he would have played that old man that talked to Luthen on.
Do you know who he looks like though? He looks like the guy with the cat he's also a squib in Hogwarts. Walter Frey from Game of Thrones. Yes, exactly, him. Yeah. So he looks like him. Yeah. So anyways, but yeah, so Cyril is also dealing with being fired. And it keeps showing him eating cereal and the mother going like, do you have any prospects? And she goes like, you weren't very successful at your last prospect. And he's like, I was, but you didn't come and see it. Like, I had an extra room. You could have come any time. She's like, I know open invitation is no invitation at all. So they have this very strange relationship. He's going to kill her at the end. I sense it. But anyways, it feels like a very like...
Norman Bates.
Yes, thank you. I was going to say Psycho. You're right. Like minds. That's why we're on Headcanon together. Because, yeah, he's like... I don't know if they had a weird relationship growing up, but
he's going unhinged. That's the show is like his descent to the madness.
Because he's looking at... Because, dude, he walks into Coruscant, and it's this beautiful city going around him. Things flying around, and we see the Coruscant that we're used to. But then he gets to the elevator and hits the button, and then we just see he's not in the ground floor, but he's in the midsection. And as he's traveling down the elevator, you just see how dark it gets, like dark.
Almost like 16.
So yeah,
Underworld.
So, but the
uncle might be connected in the Coruscant Underworld. Actually, I didn't think about that. The uncle that the mom's gonna hook him up with. He could be a Coruscant gangster.
What? He hooks him up with a job.
Yeah, the uncle could be a gangster, a mobster. That could be mob related.
Doesn't he work for a third party, like
he goes to work
accountant thing?
But
yeah. Anyways, no. Okay. Yeah. Anyways,
I already have the knowledge.
So, anyways, so yeah, he travels down, and it's just depressing because he doesn't live on the upper world. He lives in the midsection where no sun shines, and he's sitting in his room. And the sun shines for 2 seconds. It passes by, and you just see him like look up in the sun, and then it passes by, and it's just darkness, and he's crying. He's depressed. Like if he had a rope and a fan, like if I was his mom, I'd take out the fan from his room. Like he was sad and depressing. And then she gives him the cereal, and he's eating Blue Mix cereal, and he holds up the cereal. So Cyril has cereal.
It's a meme. Cyril holding cereal.
They were waiting for that meme. So yeah, she talks about the uncle hooking him up with the job, and that's kind of the last we hear of him in these 3 episodes. Because the 3rd episode is your favorite episode of the series.
The Eye, yeah.
Yeah,
well,
the Eye.
So far, I do like the stuff that happens at the end.
So the lieutenant, we get in. Well, before that, the lieutenant, we kind of get his idea how he runs the show at the fort. So
he like a dam.
Yeah. So yeah, he's going. He tells the gentlemen who are guarding the thing, like, listen, we were thinking about watching the show. It's like a rare chance, and it'd be like a crime not to see it. So he goes, I'll do you guys a favor. You do everything tomorrow. Have a good night. And then he walks away smirking because that means it's going to be open. Yeah. It's going to be open.
I don't have to worry about tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be nothing.
They went to this planet because it's a good for central trade to ship things at, but it's also full of nomads. They don't need any need for this imperial gold or anything like that. So it's a perfect place. So he tells his commander, yeah, everything's covered, and the commander goes like, oh, well, if anything should happen, your ears will ring if you, like, all this typical stuff. But in his head, he's been meeting up with those rebels, Vel and all that, and he's become one of them.
And too, when I trim away all this stuff.
But yeah, so he's been meeting up with all of them, and so we know he's a rebel and all that stuff. So we also get a scene with him and his lieutenant. Is that the one they go to the ceremony too, don't they? The Eye. Is he the one who can't fit into his?
That's his boss.
Okay, yeah, the one that said the ringing in his ear and all that stuff. And then
that's the one that can't fit in his formal wear.
Yeah.
And then his wife's like, maybe you're the one that's expanding, and he's like, bitch. Don't tell me I'm fat. He doesn't say that, but it's implied.
But yeah, because I mean, them describing these characters and like the build up to this episode was like them kind of, I think you mentioned it too to me, that each character kind of had their own thing, so we could kind of see what kind of character they were. Like we had the Vela or whatever her name is, and like each character kind of had their moment with Cassian.
More characters get arcs than other shows. That's what's kind of surprising about this show, is they really want to flesh out side characters.
Yeah. And then they don't even all last, because because they all got their own moment to shine. And then we get that last episode of this, like episode 6 of them. And so they keep talking about this wonderful event of the rainbow in the skies, and the the one that I like, what's his name? Karras? Yeah, I think it's Karras. But he
makes it through the heist.
Karras,
during the escape, during the final
doesn't
escape.
he record like a little manifesto too that they listen to at the end or something like that?
I think he might,
Yeah. But anyways, Karras he describes how it's like, they say, oh, the locals think it's like this some magical thing that he goes, no, actually the planet's traveling through a belt of crystals, and so when it enters the atmosphere, it burns up and creates this beautiful rainbow things and stuff. So he kind of explains what's going on and stuff, which I'm wondering if it is sky kyber crystal that Andor has that's related to it. Anyways, that's being on the point. But anyway, so yeah, this last episode we get the build up and everyone gets their own moment to shine, and then we also get Cassian's moment to shine because he pretty much tells them like, if I wasn't here, you guys wouldn't know what the hell's going on because it's on a track. You guys didn't know it was on a track.
We'd figure it out.
Yeah, we'd figure it out somehow. And he's like, I'm flying. And she goes like, absolutely not. He goes, listen, you could say it was your idea, but I need to fly. I know how to fly this. I'll get us out of this. Because Cassian's flown one before. Because they asked like, well, how do you get it off the track? I was like, there's a release next to the switch, next to the booster switch. It's not in the manual. It's like, yeah, it's added on because you're supposed to stay on the track. People know how to, like, trust me, it's going to be there. I'm flying it. So yeah, so he flies, everyone kind of has their role, and they successfully get up to the place where they're going, and then it just kind of chaos erupts as they're escaping.
Yeah. Like they end up having to kill a bunch of Imperials, and they sit back and relax and let me take over.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they fly into the beautiful celestial event, but unfortunately the guy you like, what was his name again? Karras gets like crushed by it's ironic, gets killed by the same thing that they were trying to steal. He didn't really want it for any profitable gain. He wanted the rebellion to thrive. So it's the money he didn't really care about, but it was, delivering hope.
Yes.
And which is the message of Rogue One, which I like that this show is trying to deliver the same message.
It's showing the steps on how we get to Rogue One.
How to deliver hope properly.
That's the whole point of Andor, yeah. It's like...
But, yeah, like I wrote in my notes, like main characters seemingly will just die unceremoniously. But they don't get like this big song and dance when they die. Like, he gets crushed. Yeah, he lives for moments after that. But they try to resuscitate him and like revive him, and he dies. But in his last moments, he gives Andor like his manifesto. Which, damn, that's got to be a sad life when like nobody you've known in life, you'd rather give your manifesto to this random stranger that you just met for 2 days.
And I'm hoping rebellions are built on hope comes from that manifesto, and that's why he says it to...
Yeah, that's the last line.
Yes, that's my headcanon.
That's the last lines. I know.
See what I'm doing
Very
there?
good, very good.
I honestly hope that he reads that in the manifesto, and that's where he changes his mind.
Last lines of the show. Rebellions are built on hope. Fade to black.
Yeah.
Andor.
Yeah.
How the show ends. Ooh, if we're right about this. Ooh.
Yeah.
Headcanon said it first, y'all. Remember the day. But yeah, like I like the eye. I didn't like it as much the first time I watched this. This is my second time.
Seems to happen when me and you watch things together.
Give it a rewatch. different headspace. But yeah, I really like the idea of this celestial event and planning this heist around this special event that only happens once every 3 years, and they've got an inside man, an Imperial officer, and an ex-stormtrooper and an Imperial officer that are defecting, one of each, and they're both black and they're both great characters. Fuck you, Finn. John Boyega, dumbass. And it's just a good show, actually. Like, it's not my favorite thing in the world, but I don't hate it. It's like, it's solid enough. It's better than Skeleton Crew, where it's actually important to the main plot in a way. Skeleton Crew was kind of just meandering, doing its own thing, which is fine.
It's not meander thing. I feel like Skeleton Crew, they needed a fresh take on something.
Yeah.
So we both enjoyed that.
I liked it. I'm just saying it was nice to like not have like the fate of the universe on the line for a couple episodes.
Yeah.
Just a nice little Star Wars adventure. But yeah, these first 6 episodes, this is the end of part 1 of our review of the first season before we get into season 2, because we'll be talking about that when that arrives, because they'll be dropping 3 episodes each, and maybe we'll probably do another 6 and then another 6. Like,
another 2 parts.
You want to do 6 and not 3 when they release them?
Or do you want to do them when they release?
Because if we watch 3, let's just do the 3.
Yeah.
And then we'll do Rogue One. Because I'm hoping they lead into that. I hope there's not a season 3 of Andor.
No, this is the end. No, this is officially
season 2. Okay.
Season 2 is the end.
Cool.
Yeah. So, pretty solid first half of the season. We will be talking about the second 6 episodes coming up here soon. And watch out for all the shorts on this video.
Yeah, don't delete that. But anyways, yeah, so we'll be talking about it. I mean, this first half was more interesting than I thought it was going to
be. We need to say, great ending of this part of this 6 episode little arc is like, Andor ends up having to kill the thing micro bear man. He's like, yeah, there's like 80 million worth of credits there. We could split that 40 million a piece. I know a little moon we can go to, and Andor is just like mid-sentence like, shut the fuck up, and shoots him with the blaster. Mid-sentence, like the thing guy, Ibn Mas something is his real name. But yeah, he's like mid-sentence he's telling Andor, yeah. But I love that because he can't be trusted in it. It reminds me of Han Solo, like shooting Greedo originally.
Yeah.
Like, no fucks given. Not the whole like who shot first.
It just reminds me of Cassian. He has no like fucking like quarrels to like.
Yeah, if his mind tells him end this man,
he'll do it.
He does it.
Yeah.
And I kind of respect that.
Yeah.
And then he gets in the room after. He's like, "Where's the guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, I killed him. He was plotting to take all your money and leave y'all to die. We don't trust you." He's like, "I don't care. Give me my cut and I'm out of here." So I definitely wanted to say that before we signed.
Yeah. So Cassian, next 6 episodes we'll talk about next, and then like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Leave a comment down below.
Yes,
what
please.
You think about the Andor series as a whole,
or if you don't like it, let us know.
If you don't like it, tell us.
If you don't like us, let us know so we can delete the comment.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Zip.